Sun Tzu wrote 2,500 years ago in Chapter 5, Section 12. The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent. Heroics, it's about collective energy that becomes a force of nature. Plus unorthodox innovation equals unstoppable momentum. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow decision, to the releasing of the trigger. This is the fundamental shift from hero culture to system culture, is as the momentum of a round stone rolled down. Brilliant teams stuck in molasses while competitors sprint like cheetahs. The hidden killer? Missing organizational momentum. Here's the mathematics: high cohesion. Teams are 35% more productive than individual skill sum. Elite DevOps teams deploy 200 times more frequently. Perfect timing launches yield 340% ROI, while missed timing delivers just 78%. Resource-focused firms are 52% more profitable than dispersed competitors. What if the ultimate competitive advantage isn't working harder, but creating unstoppable organizational momentum that moves mountains? Welcome to Sun Tzu's Art of Energy, where momentum becomes your most powerful competitive weapon. Theme stated. Sun Tzu wrote 2,500 years ago in Chapter 5, Section 12. The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent, which will even roll stones along in its course. This isn't about brute force, it's about unstoppable flow. This isn't about individual heroics, it's about collective energy that becomes a force of nature. Modern translation: small teams with perfect flow can outperform massive organizations stuck in bureaucratic quicksand. Size doesn't equal momentum. Google's Project Aristotle proved this team. Dynamics matter more than individual IQ. High cohesion teams consistently outperform brilliant individuals working in isolation. Dora's study of 31,000 professionals shows elite teams deploy 200 times more frequently and recover from failures 440 times faster. This is engineered momentum, not luck. If you're ready to transform from individual struggle to collective, unstoppable momentum, hit that like button. It tells me you value exponential results over linear effort. Today's journey: Sun Tzu's energy principles from Chapter 5, Modern Momentum, Science, and your 90-day transformation blueprint. Set up the 3 momentum killers. Let me show you the 3 invisible momentum killers destroying organizations from within, even when they're packed with talent. Killer number 1, organizational rigidity. Hierarchical decision-making turns agile minds into bureaucratic molasses. McKinsey found 70% of transformation projects fail due to structural inertia. The symptom? Brilliant strategies die in committee. Market opportunities vanish while waiting for approval. Innovation gets strangled by process. Killer number 2, timing blindness. Analysis paralysis while competitors capture market windows. BCG research shows 1 week of decision delay increases development costs by 15%. The symptom? Perfect plans that arrive too late. Competitive advantages that evaporate. First mover benefits handed to faster rivals. Killer number 3, individualism trap. Brilliant people working in silos while collective potential remains untapped. Gallup shows only 23% of employees are truly engaged, the rest are momentum drains. The symptom? Rock stars burning out. Teams performing below the sum of individual talents. Energy dispersed instead of concentrated. Quick momentum audit: which killer threatens your organization most? Rate each 110 in the comments. The painful truth: most organizations are bleeding momentum every single day without realizing it. But here's the hope, elite organizations transform these very problems into momentum multipliers. Catalyst: Sun Tzu's core insight. Here's the breakthrough insight: elite organizations don't just manage these problems, they transform them into momentum multipliers. Sun Tzu reveals the secret in Chapter 5, Section 1. The control of a large force is the same in principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers. Modern translation size isn't the problem, organization is the solution. Amazon's day one philosophy with 1.5 million employees maintains startup-like decision velocity. Through distributed ownership and clear subdivisions, Section 2 continues, fighting with a large army under your command is no wise different from fighting with a small one. It is merely a question of instituting signs and signals. The principle? Clear communication systems eliminate the friction of scale. Google's OKRs, Amazon's 2 pizza teams. Spotify's squads, all modern implementations of Sun Tzu's signs and signals. But here's where it gets profound. Section 10 states, in battle, there are not more than 2 methods of attack, the direct and the indirect, yet these 2 in combination give rise to an endless series of maneuvers. Think about that. Only 2 fundamental approaches, conventional and unconventional, orthodox and unorthodox, direct and indirect. Yet their combinations create infinite possibilities. Section 6 expands this. Indirect tactics, efficiently applied, are inexhaustible as heaven and earth, unending as the flow of rivers and streams like the sun and moon. They end but to begin anew. This is the heart of momentum. Simple principles, infinite combinations, unstoppable flow. Sun Tzu uses brilliant analogies in sections 7 through 9. There are only 5 musical notes, yet their combinations create infinite melodies. Only 5 primary colors, yet infinite hues. Only 5 cardinal tastes, yet infinite flavors. Your strategic question, what conventional strength could you combine with unconventional innovation right now? Netflix combined conventional content creation with unconventional streaming technology. Tesla combined conventional automotive manufacturing with unconventional software-first architecture. Apple combined conventional phone functionality with unconventional touch interface. The pattern? Orthodox excellence plus unorthodox innovation equals unstoppable momentum. Debate addressing objections. I know what you're thinking. 3 major objections always arise when I teach these principles. Let me address them head on. Objection number 1. Momentum is just luck. You can't manufacture it. This is the most dangerous myth in business. Reality Dora's study of 31,000 professionals proves elite teams systematically create momentum through deliberate practices. These teams deploy 200 times more frequently. Because they engineer momentum into their system's continuous integration, automated testing, psychological safety, rapid feedback loops, not magic engineering. Sun Tzu addresses this directly in section 15. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow decision, to the releasing of the trigger. You store energy deliberately. You release it strategically. That's engineering, not luck. Objection number 2, large organizations can't be agile. Sun Tzu answered this 2,500 years ago in section 1. The control of a large force is the same in principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers. Amazon proves this 1.5 million employees, yet maintains startup-like decision velocity through day one, philosophy and distributed decision-making. Microsoft under Satya Nadella transformed from know-it-all to learn-it-all culture, growing market value from $300 billion to over $3 trillion. It's about subdivision and clear signals, as Sun Tzu taught in sections 1 and 2. Quick challenge, name one decision that's been stuck in your organization for over a month. Could you apply Amazon's disagree and commit principle to accelerate it? Comment below. Objection number 3, unconventional strategies are too risky. This reveals a fundamental misunderstanding. Cotter's research shows combining conventional and unconventional approaches achieves 82% transformation success versus 34% for single approaches. Balance reduces risk while amplifying results. Tesla's mastery, traditional automotive quality standards while revolutionizing sales models, software architecture, and energy integration. The risk isn't in being unconventional, it's in being predictable. Sun Tzu teaches in section 11, the direct and the indirect lead on to each other in turn. It is like moving in a circle, you never come to an end. Who can exhaust the possibilities of their combination? Your competitive advantage lies in the infinite dance between conventional and unconventional, not in choosing one or the other. If you appreciate strategic balance over extreme positions, subscribe now for the complete framework. We're about to dive deep into the 3 momentum multiplying systems. Break into 2 framework preview. The truth momentum isn't about choosing between conventional and unconventional. It's about orchestrating both in perfect harmony. Sun Tzu knew this 2,500 years ago. Your competitive advantage lies not in picking sides, but in conducting the symphony. Now we build 3 momentum multiplying frameworks that transform stagnant teams into unstoppable forces. Framework number 1, dynamic force. Multiplier combining orthodox and unorthodox strategies across strategic, tactical, and execution levels. You'll learn the 3x3 matrix that elite organizations use to create infinite strategic possibilities from simple principles. Framework number 2, momentum ignition. Engine turning small wins into unstoppable acceleration through 5 systematic stages. You'll discover how to engineer the torrent that Sun Tzu described, starting from a single drop. Framework number 3, combined energy. Optimize or transforming individual talents into collective unstoppable power. You'll master the art of combined energy that Sun Tzu teaches in section 21, where the whole becomes exponentially greater than the sum of parts. Sun Tzu's orchestration wisdom from section 12. The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent, which will even roll stones along in its course. You're about to learn how to engineer that torrent in your organization. Section 13 adds, the quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. You're about to learn both. The torrent's unstoppable power and the falcon's perfect timing. The transformation starts with recognizing that your biggest competitive advantage isn't what you do, it's how energy flows through your team. Netflix engineered a culture where innovation flows like water finding its path. Google built systems where psychological safety enables exponential performance. Amazon designed structures where decision velocity compounds daily. Your strategic evolution question. What if your next breakthrough comes, not from working harder, but from engineering better flow? What if the secret isn't more talent, but better orchestration? What if the gap between you and your exponentially growing competitors isn't resources, but momentum systems? Up next, the most emotionally powerful momentum story. In modern business history, Tesla's journey from 0.02% laughingstock to unstoppable force in the exact Chapter 5 principles you can apply starting Monday. This is where strategy becomes reality. This is where ancient wisdom meets modern execution. This is where your transformation begins. 2012, Tesla's market share was 0.02%, a rounding error. Traditional automakers laughed. Software company trying to build cars. Wall Street analysts called it a joke. Bankruptcy seemed inevitable. But Elon Musk understood something they didn't. Momentum isn't about size. It's about orchestrated energy. He wasn't playing their game. He was engineering unstoppable flow. Tesla's genius, they combined conventional automotive excellence with unconventional everything else. Manufacturing quality, conventional, they studied. Toyota's production system hired automotive veterans, built world-class factories. Direct sales model, revolutionary bypassing dealerships, controlling customer experience, gathering direct feedback, software-defined vehicles, unprecedented over-the-air updates, continuous improvement, transforming cars into upgradable platforms, charging infrastructure, ecosystem thinking, building the supercharger network. While competitors waited for someone else to solve it, this is Sun Tzu's Section 10 in perfect action. In battle, there are not more than two methods of attack: the direct and the indirect, yet these two in combination give rise to an endless series of maneuvers. The momentum multiplier effect. Each breakthrough amplified the others. Direct sales enabled customer education. Software updates created continuous value. Charging network removed range anxiety. Passionate customers became evangelists, creating viral momentum. Section 11 explains the direct and the indirect lead on to each other in turn. It is like moving in a circle, you never come to an end. Tesla created a self-reinforcing circle. Better cars attracted passionate customers. Passionate customers generated word of mouth. Word of mouth accelerated sales. Accelerated sales funded R&D. R&D created better cars. The circle never ended, it accelerated. By 2023, 4.2% market share, 200x growth in 11 years. Market capitalization exceeded the combined value of General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. They didn't just build better cars. They engineered unstoppable momentum through perfect energy orchestration. Sun Tzu's principle from Section 12 made real. The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent, which will even roll stones along in its course. Tesla became the torrent that moved the entire automotive industry toward electric vehicles. One company's momentum shifted a trillion-dollar industry. Traditional automakers scrambled to catch up, but momentum, once lost, is devastatingly hard to regain. The emotional lesson: your team has the same potential. Every organization contains dormant energy waiting for the right orchestration. Tesla started with 0.2%, the laughingstock. Today, unstoppable. If this Tesla story inspires you to engineer momentum in your own context, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments, what's your organization's 0.02% starting point? Your momentum question: what dormant energy exists in your team right now? Which conventional strengths could you combine with unconventional innovations? Tesla proved that with perfect orchestration, even 0.02% can become unstoppable. Your transformation framework starts now. Framework 1, Dynamic Force Multiplier. Framework number 1, Dynamic Force Multiplier. Sun Tzu's core insight from Section 21. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. Stop burning out, your stars multiply. Their impact through systematic orchestration. This is the shift from addition to multiplication. Most organizations think add more people, get more output. Elite organizations think orchestrate energy better, get exponential output. The 3x3 strategic matrix combines orthodox and unorthodox approaches across 3 levels. Level 1, strategic existing market depth plus new market creation. Netflix didn't choose between streaming and content, they combined both. Amazon didn't choose between retail and technology, they built AWS while dominating e-commerce. Level 2, tactical continuous improvement plus breakthrough innovation. Toyota's production system combines Kaizen incremental improvement with periodic revolutionary changes. Apple combines annual iPhone updates with occasional category-defining products. Level 3, execution standard processes plus experimental methods. Google's 70-20-10 rule: 70% core business, 20% related projects, 10% wild experiments. Standard processes fund experiments. Successful experiments become new standards. Apple's iPhone Masterclass demonstrates perfect force multiplication. Orthodox approach, reliable phone functionality, annual update cycle, premium positioning, controlled supply chain, retail excellence. Unorthodox approach, revolutionary multi-touch interface, App Store ecosystem, eliminating physical keyboard, vertical integration from chip design to retail. Result at launch? Single product revenue exceeded Microsoft's entire company. That's not addition, that's multiplication. That's force multiplication. Evidence from Cotter's research. Combining orthodox and unorthodox approaches achieves 82% transformation success versus 34% for single approaches. That's 2.4 times higher success rate. Balance doesn't just reduce risk, it amplifies results exponentially. Here's the critical insight from Sun Tzu's Section 4, that the impact of your army may be like a grindstone dashed against an egg. This is affected by the science of weak points and strong. Orthodox methods identify the weak points. Unorthodox methods concentrate overwhelming force. The combination, grindstone against egg, irresistible. Your force multiplication audit lists 3 orthodox strengths. Your team already has. Now, what unorthodox approach could amplify each one by 10x? Screenshot this matrix. Your breakthrough combinations are hiding in plain sight. Example, you have orthodox strength in customer service. What's the unorthodox amplifier? Maybe AI-powered personalization. Maybe community-led support. Maybe turning support interactions into product innovation insights. The multiplication principle, 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 × 1 with perfect orchestration equals exponential results. Netflix didn't just add streaming to content, they multiplied entertainment with data science, creating personalized experiences impossible for traditional media. Spotify didn't just add playlists to music, they multiplied human curation with algorithmic discovery, creating infinite personalized radio. If this framework shifts your perspective from addition to multiplication, hit that like button. Share one combination you're going to test this month in the comments. Framework Dari, Momentum Ignition Engine. Framework number 2, Momentum Ignition Engine. Sun Tzu's acceleration principle from Section 12. The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent, which will even roll stones along in its course. Question: how does a single drop of water become an unstoppable torrent? Through systematic amplification across 5 stages. 5-stage acceleration mechanism. Stage 1, small wins ignition, psychological victories. Build confidence and attract early believers. Don't start big, start small and visible. Airbnb didn't start with a global platform. They started with 3 air mattresses in their apartment during a conference. Small win, 3 guests paid. Psychological victory, the model works. Stage 2, feedback loop acceleration. Rapid learning cycles compound improvements. Shorten the distance between action and learning. Zoom in early days, daily user experience improvements based on direct feedback. Release cycles measured in days, not quarters. Every improvement sparked momentum. Stage 3, network effect. Amplification, users and partners multiply your reach. Engineer situations where growth feeds growth. LinkedIn. Each user who joins makes the platform more valuable for all users. Each connection invitation brings potential new users. Growth becomes self-sustaining. Stage 4, strategic timing deployment. Synchronizing with market waves. Amplifies your efforts. Zoom's perfect timing, years of preparation met COVID-19 moment. Market wave lifted their efforts 100x. Preparation plus timing equals explosive momentum. Sun Tzu addresses this in Section 13. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. The falcon doesn't create the opportunity, it prepares. Watches and strikes with perfect timing. That's Section 15's principle. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision to the releasing of the trigger. You spend months bending the crossbow, storing energy, building capability, preparing systems. Then you release in one perfect moment. Stage 5, self-sustaining velocity. Momentum maintains itself through systemic design. Tesla reached this stage. Passionate owners generate word of mouth. Word of mouth drives sales. Sales fund R&D. R&D creates better products. Better products create more passionate owners. The loop runs itself. McKinsey research shows companies with dynamic resource reallocation achieve 1.6 times shareholder value versus static allocators. That's stage 5 momentum that compounds automatically. Zoom's ignition mastery timeline. Small wins, reliable video calls during WebEx. Frustrations, users notice quality difference. Feedback loops, daily user experience. Improvements, obsessive attention to friction points. Network effects, viral growth during COVID. Zoom Me entered vocabulary. Perfect timing, remote work surge, prepared infrastructure. Met unprecedented demand. Result 10 million to 300 million daily users in 4 months. That's not linear growth, that's momentum ignition. Quick momentum check. What small win could your team achieve in the next 7 days that would generate excitement and attract early adopters? How fast is your feedback? Cycle weekly, monthly, or glacial? Speed of learning equals speed of momentum. The ignition secret. Most organizations try to start big and get stuck. Elite teams start small and accelerate systematically. Sun Tzu's wisdom from Section 22. For it is the nature of a log or stone to remain motionless on level ground and to move when on a slope. Create the slope, the small initial advantage. Then momentum does the work. Screenshot this 5-stage framework and identify one action for each stage. If you're ready to engineer momentum rather than hope for it, subscribe now for the complete acceleration playbook. The shift from trying to push a boulder uphill to placing a round stone at the top and letting gravity, letting momentum do the work. That's what we're engineering. That's what separates exponential winners from linear losers. Up next, Framework 3, Combined Energy Optimizer. This is where individual brilliance becomes collective, unstoppable force. This is where Sun Tzu's most profound teaching transforms modern organizations. Framework 3, Combined Energy Optimizer. Framework number 3, Combined Energy Optimizer. This is Sun Tzu's most profound teaching for modern organizations. Section 21 states, the clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. Hence his ability to pick out the right men and to utilize combined energy. Read that again. Don't require too much from individuals. Utilize combined energy. This is the fundamental shift from hero culture to system culture. From burning out superstars to orchestrating unstoppable collective force, Section 22 provides the perfect analogy. When he utilizes combined energy, his fighting men become, as it were, like unto rolling logs or stones. For it is the nature of a log or stone to remain motionless on level ground, and to move when on a slope, if four-cornered, to come to a standstill, but if round-shaped, to go rolling down. This is organizational design as physics. Create the slope, round the edges. Let momentum do the work. Section 23 delivers the climax. Thus, the energy developed by good fighting men is as the momentum of a round stone rolled down. A mountain thousands of feet in height, one stone, one mountain. Unstoppable force. That's what we're engineering. 4 principles of combined energy optimization. Principle 1, concentration focus, resources on 3 domains maximum. McKinsey research shows resource-focused firms are 52% more profitable than dispersed competitors. Amazon's mastery publicly appeared to focus on retail, secretly concentrated resources on AWS development from 2002 to 2006. When they launched it, they already dominated. The art appearing dispersed while actually concentrated. That's section Mountain. Was shown. 17's teaching simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline. Principle 2, dynamic reallocation, quarterly resource redistribution, based on momentum indicators. McKinsey shows companies with dynamic resource reallocation achieve 1.6 times shareholder value versus static allocators. The practice? Kill zombie projects ruthlessly. Double down on momentum winners. Netflix cancels shows decisively. Amazon's two-way door decisions enable rapid reallocation. Principle 3, organizational structure for flow designed for energy. Circulation, not hierarchy. Section 16 teaches, amid the turmoil and tumult of battle, there may be seeming disorder and yet no real disorder at all amid confusion and chaos. Your array may be without head or tail, yet it will be proof against defeat. Modern translation: Spotify's squads look chaotic from outside autonomous teams. Fluid structure, seemingly no hierarchy. But underneath, perfect coordination through clear mission, shared metrics, strong culture. Netflix's freedom and responsibility culture appears disorderly, but its engineered disorder maximum autonomy within clear context. The key from section 18, hiding order beneath the cloak of disorder, is simply a question of subdivision. Subdivision creates autonomous units. Clear signals create coordination. The result, apparent chaos, actual orchestration. Principle 4, elimination protocol. Rapid withdrawal from momentum-killing activities. Most organizations are afraid to quit. Elite organizations quit fast and redeploy. Google's famous 20% time isn't just about innovation, it's about rapid experimentation and ruthless elimination. Most 20% projects die quickly. The few that show momentum get resourced massively. Combined energy and action, Amazon's AWS story. 2002, small team starts building internal infrastructure tools. Appears like overhead, actually strategic bet. 2003, 2004, realize external market potential. Keep it quiet. Concentrate resources while appearing focused on retail. 2006, launch AWS with years of development head start. Competitors caught completely off guard. Today, AWS generates majority of Amazon's operating profit. One concentrated bet transformed the company. That's not luck. That's engineered combined energy. That's Section 21's principle made real. Your combined energy audit. Where are you dispersing energy that should be concentrated? What zombie projects are draining momentum? Which small experiments are showing early momentum signals? If this framework reveals where your energy is leaking, hit that like button. Share one project you're going to kill this quarter in the comments. Midpoint, the core transformation. We've reached the turning point. You now have 3 frameworks. But frameworks don't create momentum. Mindset shift creates momentum. Here's the core transformation. True power isn't in the size of your force, but in the unstoppable momentum you create. It's not about what you have, but how it flows. Sun Tzu teaches in section 14, therefore, the good fighter will be terrible in his onset and prompt in his decision. 2 qualities, terrible onset, unstoppable momentum when you move. Prompt decision speed that compounds. BCG research shows 1 week of decision. Delay increases development costs by 15%. But it's not just cost, it's momentum loss. Every delayed decision is leaking energy. The shift from static resource management to dynamic momentum creation. Old paradigm allocate resources annually. Protect turf, hoard talent, avoid risk, seek approval. New paradigm reallocate resources quarterly. Flow talent to momentum. Take calculated risks. Make reversible decisions fast. Beg forgiveness, not permission. Old paradigm individual heroes save the day. Celebrate rock stars. Demand perfection from people. New paradigm combined energy wins. Celebrate systems. Demand excellence from processes. Let people thrive within great systems. Sun Tzu's section 21 again. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. Are you burning out individuals or engineering unstoppable systems? This is the moment of decision. You can't unsee what you now know. The question isn't whether these principles work. 2,500 years of history prove they do. The question is, will you implement them? Up next, the 5 obstacles that will try to stop you, and exactly how elite organizations overcome each one. Bad guys close in, the 5 internal obstacles. You're excited. You see the frameworks, and you're ready to transform. Then reality hits. 5 internal obstacles that kill momentum in most organizations. Obstacle 1, organizational inertia. Success breeds complacency. Past victories become future prisons. The symptom? We've always done it this way. That's not how we operate. Let's wait and see. Proshi research shows 60% of employees resist strategic changes. McKinsey shows 70% of transformation projects fail due to inertia. The cause? Sun Tzu identified it 2,500 years ago. Organizations optimize for stability when they should optimize for flow. How elite teams overcome it? Start with small, visible wins. Don't announce transformation, demonstrate results. Show, don't tell. Amazon's approach: they don't ask permission to experiment. They run small tests, measure results, scale winners. 2 pizza teams can move fast without corporate approval. Obstacle 2, analysis paralysis, seeking perfect information before acting. The symptom? Endless strategy reviews. Committees studying committees. Planning that never becomes action. BCG research: 1-week delay increases cost 15%. But most organizations delay for months seeking certainty that doesn't exist. Sun Tzu's section 15 teaches the cure. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision to the releasing of the trigger. You can't keep the crossbow bent forever. There's a moment to release. Perfect timing beats perfect information. Amazon's 70% rule: make decisions with 70% of the information you wish you had. Waiting for 90% is too slow. Less than 50% is reckless. How elite teams overcome it: set decision deadlines. Make reversible decisions fast. Reserve slow deliberation for irreversible choices only. Obstacle 3, resource hoarding departments, protecting resources rather than flowing them to momentum. The symptom? Budget battles. Headcount fights. That's my team, not yours. This violates Section 21's core principle. Combined energy optimization requires flowing resources to momentum, not hoarding in silos. How elite teams overcome it: transparent resource allocation. Tied to momentum metrics, quarterly reallocation reviews. Celebrate resource sharing, not resource hoarding. Netflix's approach: no budget owners. Resources flow to momentum. Teams that hoard lose credibility. Obstacle 4, cultural fragmentation, silos preventing energy circulation. The symptom? Marketing doesn't talk to product. Engineering doesn't understand sales. Strategy happens in isolation. This violates Section 16's teaching about maintaining true order beneath apparent disorder. Fragmentation is real disorder, not simulated. How elite teams overcome it: cross-functional teams as default structure. Shared metrics across functions. physical and digital spaces that force interaction. Spotify squads product design engineering together. Shared mission, shared metrics, shared accountability. Obstacle 5, leadership inconsistency direction. Change is destroying accumulated momentum. The symptom? This quarter's priority contradicts last quarter's. New leader, new strategy. Constant pivots with no follow-through. Sun Tzu's Section 23 shows why this is fatal thus. The energy developed by good fighting men is as the momentum of a round stone rolled down. A mountain thousands of feet in height. You can't roll a stone part way, then change direction, then change again. Momentum requires sustained direction. How elite teams overcome it clear. Long-term vision with flexible short-term tactics. Amazon's day one philosophy hasn't changed in 25 years. The tactics evolve constantly within that stable frame. Your obstacle audit. Which of these 5 is killing your momentum? Most rate each 110 in the comments. The truth, every organization faces all 5. The difference? Elite organizations have systematic responses to each. If you recognize these obstacles in your organization, subscribe now. The final section reveals your specific 90-day action plan. For overcoming each one, all is lost, the worst-case scenario. Let me show you what happens when momentum dies, the cascading failure that destroys organizations. The momentum death spiral, momentum stalls, market timing missed, competitors catch up, differentiation erodes, price war begins, slow decline becomes inevitable. Real example, Blockbuster versus Netflix, 2000 to 2010. 2000 Blockbuster dominates with 9,000 stores. Netflix is a DVD by mail startup. Blockbuster's CEO laughs at Netflix's $50 million acquisition offer. 2004 Blockbuster finally launches online service. But they're reactive, not proactive. No momentum, just copying. 2007 Netflix launches streaming. Blockbuster is still focused on stores. Momentum gap widens. 2010 Blockbuster files for bankruptcy. Netflix market cap exceeds $240 billion today. The cost of lost momentum, a $6 billion company, became zero in 1 decade. Sun Tzu's Section 22 reveals why. For it is the nature of a log or stone to remain motionless on level ground and to move when on a slope. Blockbuster was a log on level ground. No slope, no momentum. Motionless until it was too late. Netflix was a round stone on a slope, building momentum from day one. Once rolling, unstoppable. Here's the terrifying truth. Most organizations are closer to Blockbuster than they realize. They have revenue, market share, resources, but momentum gone. Yahoo versus Google in search. Nokia versus iPhone in mobile. Kodak versus digital photography. Toys R Us versus Amazon in retail. The pattern? Established players with resources but no momentum. Challengers with momentum but fewer resources. Momentum wins every time. Your worst-case scenario. What happens if you don't engineer momentum? In the next 90 days, your competitors will, and once they have it, catching up becomes exponentially harder. If this scenario creates urgency, hit that like button. Comment what's at stake if you don't act now. Dark night of the soul reflection. Pause with me for a moment. Honest reflection time. Where are you fighting with brute force instead of creating flow? What momentum are you unconsciously killing through micromanagement? Sun Tzu's Section 21 asks, the clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. Are you requiring too much from individuals? Are you burning out your best people while ignoring system design? Are you trying to control everything, or are you engineering? Unstoppable energy flow? Are you the bottleneck in your own organization? Section 14 states, Therefore, the good fighter will be terrible. In his onset and prompt in his decision. Are your decisions prompt or are you the delay? Is analysis paralysis your default or is bias toward action your culture? The gap between where you are and where you could be, that's not a resource gap. That's a momentum gap. That's a system gap. You have talented people. You have resources. You have market opportunity. What you might be missing is orchestrated energy flow. The question isn't whether you can transform. The question is whether you will. These principles worked 2,500 years ago. They work today. They'll work tomorrow. The principles don't change. The question is, will you implement them? 30 seconds of silence. Ask yourself, what's the one change that would create the most momentum in my organization? Whatever answer came to mind, that's your starting point. Break into 3 your 90-day momentum mastery plan. Decision time. You're not going back. You're going forward. Here's your 90-day momentum mastery plan. Phase 1, days 1 to 30, energy audit and force mapping. Week 1, complete your energy audit scorecard. Orthodox versus unorthodox balance. Where are you too conventional? Too experimental? Combined energy level. Are individuals burning out or thriving in systems? Decision velocity. How fast do reversible decisions get made? Resource fluidity. Do resources flow to momentum or stay locked in budgets? Rate each area 1 to 10. Be brutally honest. Week 2, map your current force multipliers. Strategic level, what markets do you serve? What new markets could you create? Tactical level, what do you incrementally improve? What do you revolutionize? Execution level, what's standardized? What's experimental? Create your 3x3 matrix. Identify the empty squares. Those are your opportunities. Week 3, identify momentum signals. Which small projects are showing disproportionate results? Where are customers getting most excited? Which experiments are beating projections? These are your momentum seeds. Don't ignore them. Week 4, audit obstacles. Rate each of the 5 obstacles: inertia, analysis paralysis, resource hoarding, cultural fragmentation, leadership inconsistency. Which is killing your momentum most? That's your primary target. Phase 2, days 31 to 60, dynamic system implementation. Week 5, launch 3 small momentum experiments. Pick one orthodox-unorthodox combination from your matrix. Identify the smallest testable version. Set 7-day learning cycles. These aren't projects. These are momentum tests. Week 6, implement weekly momentum reviews. Every team shares what created momentum this week, what killed it. Celebrate momentum creators. Question momentum killers. Make resource reallocation decisions in real time. Week 7, create your combined energy dashboard. Track decision velocity, resource flow, small wins, momentum signals. Make it visible. Make it real time. Make it matter. Week 8, eliminate one zombie project. That project everyone knows is dead, but no one will kill. Reallocate those resources to your momentum experiments. Celebrate the killing, not just the creating. Phase 3, days 61 to 90, momentum amplification. Week 9, 10, scale your winning experiment. Which small experiment showed momentum? 10x the resources. 10x the ambition. Sun Tzu, section 12, let the torrent grow. Week 11, build self-sustaining loops. How can early customer success drive more customers? How can team wins attract more talent? Engineer the circular flow from section 11. Week 12, lock in the system. Document what worked. Kill what didn't. Make the momentum system permanent. Set the next 90-day cycle. Finale 7, momentum creation commitments. Your final checklist. 7 commitments that separate exponential organizations from linear losers. Commitment 1, energy audit every quarter. Your organization's momentum changes constantly. Audit it. Don't assume it's still there. Use your 4-axis scorecard: orthodox, unorthodox, balance, combined energy level, decision velocity, resource fluidity. Make it routine. Make it honest. Commitment to dynamic force multiplier as strategy standard. Never choose between orthodox and unorthodox again. Always ask, what's the combination? Your 3x3 matrix becomes your strategy canvas. Update it quarterly. Section 10 promised infinite maneuvers from 2 methods. Deliver on that promise. Commitment 3, small wins every week. Momentum decent the gap between wins. Don't let the gap get too wide. Every team, every week, what's our small win? Make it visible. Celebrate it. Build on it. Section 15, bend the crossbow constantly. Release frequently. Commitment 4, weekly momentum reviews. Not status updates. Not task tracking. Momentum analysis. What created momentum? Do more of it. What killed momentum? Stop it immediately. Make resource reallocation decisions in these meetings. Real time. Real impact. Commitment 5, quarterly resource reallocation. Budget annually. Reallocate quarterly. Big difference. McKinsey's 1.6 advantage goes to dynamic reallocators. Be but one of them. Section 22, keep your organization round, not square. Round stones roll, square ones stuck firm. Pushed over one, stick. Commitment 6, combined energy as default culture. Section 21 becomes your mantra. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. Celebrate system wins, not hero wins. Invest in orchestration, not just talent. Build momentum machines, not just teams. Commitment 7, 90-day momentum cycles forever. This isn't a one-time transformation. This is how you operate now. Every 90 days audit, implement, amplify, repeat. Section 23. Thus, the energy developed by good fighting men is as the momentum of a round. Stone rolled down a mountain thousands of feet in height. Place your organization at the top of the mountain. Shape it into a round stone. Then let momentum do what momentum does, become unstoppable. Final image, your momentum future. Remember the opening? Teams stuck in molasses while competitors sprint. Now flip the image. Your team making decisions in days, not months. Your experiment scaling to victories before competitors start planning. Your talent thriving in systems that multiply their impact. Your resources flowing to momentum like water, finding the steepest path. The data you saw at the start, that's not aspirational anymore. That's your roadmap. 35% productivity increase through combined energy. Check. You have the framework. 200x deployment frequency through momentum systems. Check. You have the 5-stage engine. 340% ROI through perfect timing. Check. You have the decision velocity principles. 52% higher profitability through resource concentration. Check. You have the 4 optimization principles. Sun Tzu wrote Chapter 5 2,500 years ago. Today, you hold the complete modern implementation. The question was never whether momentum works. History proves it does. The question was never whether the principles are sound. They've survived 2,500 years for a reason. The question is simpler: will you engineer it, or will you watch your competitors engineer it first? True power isn't in individual brilliance, but in unstoppable collective momentum. You now have the blueprint. Start your 90-day transformation today. Download the complete Momentum Mastery Workbook in the description. Join the energy engineering community linked below. Share this with one leader who needs unstoppable momentum. And remember Sun Tzu's final wisdom from section 23. Thus, the energy developed by good fighting men is as the momentum of a round stone rolled down, a mountain thousands of feet in height. You are the stone. Your organization is the mountain. The height is your choice. The momentum? That's what we engineered together today. The art of energy awaits your mastery. Go create your unstoppable momentum.